Okay, so to be honest, this wasn't planned, but like I saw it the other day as a small Christmas gift, I want to give you this review. Today we're going to be reviewing Merry Little Batman. Well, so I've got to start by saying that I love this movie, and I actually think that it's better than the GOTG special, and maybe on par with Lego Batman. One of the things that I liked the most about this movie was the aesthetic. It really reminded me of something like out of Roald Dahl, and Poison Ivy, for example, looked exactly the same as one of the witches from the book. I really liked how gross things looked sometimes, like for example the food that Alfred was going to prepare, and I also liked details, like for example the Wayne Manor being shaped like bat ears, and I also think that the choice of the punk music really fitted well with the aesthetic of the movie. One of the things that I wasn't really sure about, but then ended up loving, was Batman. At first it was really weird to hear Luke Perry coming out of Batman, but after a while, and after you learn why he is the way he is, you totally understand it. And it actually surprised me, because it ended up being a very faithful adaptation. Not how we usually see him portrayed, but really, if you understand Batman's mentality, it really makes a lot of sense to see him trying to be the best dad possible, so that Damian can have what he never had, which was a childhood. So really this was really strange, because although at first it isn't like a faithful adaptation, the more that you hear him talk and why he is the way he is, he ends up being really faithful. So he's in a very weird middle ground in which he is faithful, but at the same time not really faithful to how we usually see him portrayed. So I found that really interesting. I also really liked Bad Dad and why Batman created him. I found that to be really interesting, so that Damian wouldn't be alone like he was. And I actually felt something when Bad Dad died, which surprised me a lot, because first of all he's an AI, and I wasn't expecting to be so emotionally invested in an AI from a kid's children's film. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. Something I also enjoyed is that this movie has a lot of references. It has references to Batman and Robin with the ice skates, it has references to Batman's creators, it even has a reference to the Joker movie, which I didn't expect, and it has references to Nightwing, Sergeant Rock, which is a character that no one knows, Batmite, and even the Wonder Twins. Oh, and of course, it also has a reference to the na 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 Batman, you know, the theme song. So yeah, so those were other huge positives. So like I said, I really like this movie, and I think that it's better than the special of Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I like the writing a lot. Not only because it's really funny, like for example the fact that we have the longest entrance to the Batcave ever, but also because it plays with your heartstrings, not only with things like with Bad Dad, but also with the cocoa metaphor, because he has a really great metaphor about hot chocolate representing childhood. If you've seen the movie, I'm sure that you know, but yeah, it has a very good metaphor. So yeah, that was another positive. The writing was really great. Oh, and also, something that I liked about the writing of the movie and the world of this movie is that it has a sense of danger. Maybe it's because of the animation, I'm not sure why, but it has a sense of danger that many times these types of movies don't have. So yeah, positives. And the other thing that I really enjoyed is the movie references. Like for example, the movie reference that this movie has to Home Alone, which we're going to talk a little bit later, and also the reference to Nightfall and Spider-Man 2, which if you don't know, Nightfall is the comic in which Bane breaks the bat, and also to Spider-Man 2, in which Spider-Man hits his back and he starts saying, my back, and which is also a reference to something that really happened to Tobey Maguire. So yeah, those were other positives. Okay, so this isn't necessarily something bad, but I found it really funny how this movie starts with a song that exposes that, and spoilers by the way, that Santa Claus isn't real. This movie basically says, Santa Claus is your parents or something like that, and I found that really weird that this kids movie starts like this, because a lot of kids are going to discover that Santa Claus isn't real due to this. So yeah, that's a nitpick, but that's a negative. Another nitpick is that although I really like this Damian, and I had a lot of fun with him, and I actually would like to watch a series revolving around him and the other characters, this isn't the Damian Wayne that I'm used to. I mean, sure, he's Batman's and Talia's kid, because they kind of mention it later, but his personality is very different. Also maybe because he's younger. But the funny thing is that at first I was thinking, okay, he's more like Dick. But then in the Home Alone sequence, I mean, the only reason that he didn't kill those guys is because they are in a cartoon world. Because any of the things that he did there could have easily killed him. So it was really funny, because at first I was like, okay, he's nothing like Damian, he's more like a mix of Dick and maybe a little bit of Jason, because he was like very eager to prove himself. But the moment in which he almost killed the goons, I was like, okay, this kid is a killer. I guess that this kid is closer to Damian than I thought. So yeah, I found that funny. Other things that I didn't really like, but not because they were necessarily bad, but more because I'm a comic book fan, is the fact that they made Poison Ivy and Joker friends. Which to me personally, it feels really weird, because Poison Ivy has been either Harley Quinn's friend or girlfriend for a very long time, and she knows what Joker has done to Harley Quinn. So I guess that in this version Harley Quinn doesn't exist or something like that, because if not, I really can't understand how they can be friends. Or maybe Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn were never friends to begin with, I'm not sure, but that was something that bugged me a little bit. Also, something that bugged me a little bit was how they made Bane seem stupid. I say seem because in universe, characters like Joker are supposed to understand him, but we don't really hear him talk, so that was something that I really found off, because Bane is supposed to be really intelligent. Oh, and this is really a nitpick, because it only happens like for 2 seconds, but I really hated the band. There is one scene in which a band of music appears, and they take more space than is needed. They have like a line of dialogue, which they didn't really need. And they kind of took me out of the movie for a second. But yeah, that's not really a negative. What is a negative is that although I like the character, I didn't really like the Joker voice at first, and throughout the movie I didn't like his laugh. It kind of growed on me a little bit, but just a little bit, but it kind of annoyed me more than anything. And that's weird because I usually really like the Joker, and I like the way he laughs. But in this movie I wanted him to laugh a little bit less. Also, I'm not a fan of the canon of Batman and Joker being friends. I really don't like that. I like, for example, in The Dark Knight, the fact that Joker considers Batman his friend, but in a very twisted way, but I don't like when it's reciprocated. Well, so that was my review. If you liked it, please subscribe, give a like, and also watch one of my videos. Here you have one that I think that you would like. So yeah, I hope that you liked it. Thank you for staying till the end, and bye!